Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 2020 East-Comm Awards presentation. I'm John Holtz, Director of Athletic Communication at Slippery Rock University and past president of this terrific organization. One of my privileges as role as past president is getting to oversee our awards. That role, unfortunately, took on a different meaning in 2020 and again in 2021, as we were unable to recognize our award winners at our stellar banquet during our annual workshop. We had hoped to be able to recognize last year's tremendous class, as well as our 2021 award winners, in person this summer, but the pandemic had other plans. I want to thank our 2020 award winners for their understanding of the situation and for their assistance in helping us put together this presentation tonight to give them an opportunity to be recognized for their accomplishments. Tonight is unique for a couple reasons. The first, obviously, is that we're doing this virtually. The second is that tonight's award winners are technically the last class of award winners under our former name, ECAC-SIDA. If you're not familiar, we rebranded in 2021 under the new name of Eastern Athletic Communications Association and the moniker East-Comm. We'll host our first workshop under the new name of East-Comm this summer with a free virtual East-Comm workshop June 22nd and June 23rd. We'll also include our 2021 awards presentation during that workshop on Wednesday evening, June 23rd. Check out the website eastcomm.com for more information. That's East-Comm, EAST-COMM.com. Without further ado, we'll jump into the awards presentations portion of our evening. Each of our 2020 award winners have identified a person to introduce them this evening. Those introduction videos will be played, followed by the acceptance speeches from our award winners. Now we'll dive into our award winners' videos this evening. First, to introduce our 2020 Bill Esposito Memorial Award, which is presented to a graduating college senior who wishes to pursue a career in athletic communications, I'd like to introduce Jill Weigel of Newman University, who is also the Charities Chair at East-Comm.
Good evening. I'm Jill Weigel, Athletic Communications Director at Newman University, and it is my honor to introduce the 2020 Bill Esposito Award winner, Sarah Robsky. Sarah couldn't be a more deserving recipient of this honor. She was an integral member of the Newman University Athletic Department as soon as she stepped on the campus in 2017 and continues to be as an alumni. During her tenure, Sarah held the position of work-study student, intern, and volunteer as she did what she needed to do to keep working in our office. I saw her interest develop quickly in the athletic communications field. Sarah started asking questions, then diving deeper into what it meant to be in athletic communications. In 2018, I gave her more responsibilities, which led to her taking an integral role in coverage for the Newman ice hockey teams during the fall crossover season. As expected, she rose to the challenge and excelled in running a successful game day. In the fall of 2019, Sarah was named the first co-captain of the athletic communications work-study staff. In this role, she assisted in overseeing our 20 student workers. Sarah was also named the point person for our home field events on the turf, which included soccer and field hockey during the fall 2019 seasons. As the season went on, coaches knew that she would be there and started looking for her instead of me. She also continued to oversee operations at the rinks as the ice hockey seasons opened. Sarah's creativity helped take our graphics, social media pages, and streaming to the next level. Her passion, hard work, and work ethic had me convinced that she could do whatever she put her mind to. As soon as our campus shut down last spring and went virtual, Sarah changed to active status with the Pennsylvania Army National Guard. Now, she recently accepted a job as a human resource specialist at their headquarters. Sarah, I cannot thank you enough for all you did for me and Newman Athletics while you were a student. I'm so proud of everything that you have already accomplished and cannot wait to see where life leads you. I am honored not only to call you a colleague, but a friend. Congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2020 Bill Esposito Award winner, Sarah Robsky.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sarah Robsky, and I'm the award winner of the Bill Esposito Award of 2020. I just want to start off with commending you on all your amazing work you have performed over the crazy past year. You are all truly the heroes behind college athletics. Without all of you, there would not have been a season for many athletes. You make it all happen behind the scenes. This profession became something I pushed athletes to recognize at Newman University. My junior year, I took my first sports management class, as I was just a communications major. It was my first presentation. I looked up from the podium and looked at the class and said, "Who here knows what a sports information director does. The classroom was like 80% student athletes, so I thought at least one of them would have an idea. They were all silent, with eyes like deers in the headlights. I then went on and explained everything an SID does, and jaws continued to drop as I described this crazy career field I fell in love with. As a freshman in college 5 years ago, though, I was in their shoes. I had no idea what an SID was. I didn't even know the career field existed. After my freshman year, I attended basic combat training as a member of the PA National Guard, and then later that fall started at Newman, where I met my boss, now mentor and friend, Jill Whitehall. I quickly fell in love with working games. It was from that point on I knew I wanted to become an SID. Over the next 2 years, Jill had taught me everything from calling stats to running game day operations on my own, while overseeing work study staff. I had the amazing opportunity to even serve as the main contact for 2 fall sports and perform some game day operations for doubleheaders at the ice hockey games at the rink. I couldn't have done any of that without your mentorship, Jill. Thank you for everything. Last spring, when Jill contacted me about the Bill Esposito Award, I was actually 7 hours into my shift on base, as I was activated to support healthcare workers fighting COVID-19. Within a 2-week period, senior year was moved online. My lacrosse season was canceled. My internship was moved virtual, and I was put on state active duty full-time. Needless to say, the news of this award was an emotional moment for me in that 2 weeks, and it was the ray of sunshine I needed that pushed me forward. As many of you know, Bill Esposito was one of the true patriarchs of the sports information profession. He served as the sports information director at St. John's University in New York for 25 years. He served as the past president of ECAC-SIDA in 1972-73 and was the organization's Irving Marsh Award recipient in 1973. He was then inducted into the Co-SIDA Hall of Fame in 1984. It is truly an honor to receive this award named after someone who has made such a huge impact in this career field. Currently, I am full-time National Guard working as an HR specialist at their headquarters, but I've been able to do some freelancing to stay involved in college athletics, whether just taking some photos for club ice hockey teams on a Wednesday night or making graphics here and there, and also helping out live statting games when needed. It is a career field that I cannot wait to be a part of full-time once my contract ends.
Congratulations to both Sarah and Jill at Newman. Our next award is the Monahan and Wallace Media Award, presented annually to members of the media that go above and beyond in their coverage of collegiate athletics on the East Coast. To introduce the 2020 award winner, please welcome the 2011 Marsh Award winner and the 2017 Nevins Award winner, Larry Doherty from Temple University.
It is my pleasure to introduce my good friend Mike Jensen from the Philadelphia Inquirer as a recipient of the 2020 Monahan and Wallace Media Award. Mike has been covering college sports in the Philadelphia area for over 30 years, and during that time has told not only the stories of national champions like Villanova basketball and iconic figures like Temple's John Chaney, but has shined a bright light on many Olympic sports accomplishments at every level of intercollegiate sports. There is no more deserving person to receive this honor, and he has truly helped many members of our profession tell the positive stories of our teams and our student athletes. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Jensen.
I can't thank you enough for this award, and it means a lot to me because of where it's coming from. 2 words, ECAC and CSIDA. ECAC for me, in the 1970s, watching ECA basketball, watching Ron Perry at Holy Cross, watching Army, watching Marvin Bucky talk about ECAC basketball, that first got me interested in college hoops and college sports, no question about it. CSIDA, working in Philadelphia at the Inquirer for 33 years, if I start thanking all the sports information directors that I've worked with, I would just leave out way too many people. So I can't start naming names, but I believe you have the best people in your departments. I believe you have the hardest working people in your departments. You started to have to do my job in addition to your job, and you just kept doing it. So I like I said, collectively, if I can just thank you so much. This is really meaningful for me.
Congratulations to Mike, and thank you to Larry for providing that intro for us. Our next award presentation this evening is the 2020 Bob Kenworthy Award, which is presented at the discretion of the Executive Board to a person for contributions to the organization and mission of East-Comm. Here to introduce our 2020 award winner is former ECAC-SIDA Treasurer and 2017 Kenworthy Award winner, Roger Crosley.
Very few of you watching this have had the privilege to meet Bob Kenworthy. To most of you, his is just a name on an award. For the few of you that have met Bob, you realize what an incredible person he is. Bob is one of the most giving persons you will ever meet. His devotion to Gettysburg College is legendary. He gave the city of Gettysburg his volunteer time and sense of community pride. He gave to this organization one of only a handful of workshops that ever made money and shared his stories and insights for decades. When I said earlier it's a privilege to meet Bob Kenworthy, it truly is. Tonight, the names Bob Kenworthy and Bob Beretta become inexorably linked. It could not be a more apt pairing. I can't tell you the first time I met Bob Beretta, but I can tell you it was a workshop presented by this group. Our paths likely would never have crossed had it not been for ECAC-SIDA, and that would have been sad, because without this organization, I would have most likely not gotten to know the person whom I respect, admire, and yes, love, as much as I have any friend or colleague in my life. Bob is one of those people that you meet and you're immediately drawn to him. He's gregarious, humorous, driven, emotional, and passionate. He's also one of the smartest and most savvy persons I've ever met. As I grew to know him, I got the sense that he was destined for greater things than sports information. At Army West Point and now Lemoyne College athletics are all the better for his leadership. In my mind, the Kenworthy Award is the ultimate award presented by this organization. I've always felt that way because it's given for service to the organization, for giving back to this wonderful group that has meant so much to so many of us. No one, and I mean no one, has contributed to this group in more ways than Bob Beretta. Early on after we met Bob, the executive board recognized that we wanted Bob to be a leader in ECAC-SIDA, and we asked him to join the board. As Bob went through the officer rotation, the entire executive board recognized his incredible talent and dedication to the cause. When it came time for him to rotate off the board, it was decided that we still needed his leadership skills, and an additional board position was created, which Bob graciously accepted. But that's just the tip of the proverbial iceberg. After Pete Nevins passed, the board asked Bob to chair a committee to establish the Nevins Award. As a friend of Pete, Bob gladly accepted the challenge. He and his committee created a unique and prestigious award that is cherished by all who have received it. Bob has shared his life and his stories at workshops in a raw and emotional way. The running joke among his friends was that a workshop didn't really start until Bob cried. Those tears were symbols of Bob's passion and love for this profession and those he's met because of it. And as he shared sometimes beautiful and sometimes painful memories, his were not the only damp eyes in the house. I've saved what I consider Bob's crowning achievement for last. At one point, the executive board decided the organization needed a charities chair. In the biggest no-brainer in the history of ECAC-SIDA, we asked Bob if he would take on the responsibility. Bob and his staff at Army West Point took on that responsibility like it was their only job. They solicited high-quality silent auction items. They came up with the idea of the charity raffle and made that a huge success, with donations increasing year after year. I used to joke with Bob that somehow he got people to give us money so they could win stuff they likely could have gotten for free. Bob and his staff and the charity committee did absolutely amazing things, and this organization, its members, and our local workshop communities have all benefited. When people ask me about Bob or what he's like, I simply say this: Bob Beretta is one of the best people I've ever known in my life. I couldn't be more honored to introduce the 2020 Bob Kenworthy recipient for service to the organization, Bob Beretta.
Good evening. I'd like to begin by congratulating the other 2020 East-Comm award winners: Sarah, Mike, Adam, Brad, and Ann. And the 2021 award winners: Connor, Steve, Chris, Greg, Scott, John, and Pete. What an amazing group of individuals, and I am so honored to have worked alongside many of you. More importantly, I am so blessed to consider you dear friends. For many years, I attended our ECAC-SIDA award banquets and marveled at the winners of these awards, particularly the Bob Kenworthy Award. Bob Kenworthy is the epitome of character and class. He is the person everyone gravitates to whenever he attends one of our banquets with his beaming smile. Not only is he an icon in this industry, but Bob is a Hall of Fame human being and as gracious an individual as I have ever met. Scanning the list of previous award winners for this honor named in Bob's name is staggering. Names like Brad Tufts, Pete Nevins, Matty Salvani, Steve McCluskey, John Alosi, Sue Edson, Bob Heller, Ken DeBolt, Roger Crosley, and Jeff Bernstein. So many dear friends and so many legends. It is extremely humbling to be included amongst that list of Hall of Fame individuals. I cannot thank the East-Comm board enough for considering me for this unbelievable honor. I am so humbled. So what does all of this mean to me? It takes a special person. It takes a special person to make a career of selflessly promoting others. I have been blessed to spend my entire professional career at two places, West Point and now Lemoyne College. Two places, two institutions that truly place people first. I have been surrounded by some of the finest young people this nation has to offer. I've stated this before, but it's often said that military service is a noble profession, and it's hard to argue that fact. But it is also hard to argue that noble, too, is a profession each of you has chosen. There is not a more selfless group of professionals in any athletic department. More noble a group than all of you. A group that works mind-numbingly long hours, spends on average 40 weekends a year away from family and friends, and countless days and nights traveling on the road each year. And what is the motivation for it all? Is it to chase that next title? Earn that lofty promotion or pay raise? Some may be fortunate enough to achieve those benefits, but that never seems to be the true motivation for any of the tireless work put forth. No, it's always about selflessly shining the spotlight on someone else. That is immensely noble in its own right. You are the true grinders, the true foot soldiers. You are the true glue that keeps it all together. You do it during stressful conditions, juggling responsibilities, workloads, and tight deadlines. And you do it all with composure, you do it all with grace, and you do it all with class. The same way Bob Kenworthy did for so many years as he represented Gettysburg College with such dignity. I could not be more proud to stand by your side. One thing I learned a long time ago was if you surround yourself with great people, you can achieve great things. I've been very fortunate over the years to be surrounded by some of the very best this life has to offer, many of whom have stood before you and received their rightful due at banquets in the past. People like Mike Albright, Adrian Mulliken, Christian Anderson, John Terry, Todd Merritt, Jim Zolke, Dana Allen, John Holtz, Dallas Miller, Tim Volkman, Ryan Janishak, Brian Gunny, Tracy Nelson Volkman, Ali Kern, Matt Faulkner, Mark Morman, and so many others. I'd like to offer a special thanks to my dear friend Roger Crosley for his wonderful introduction. Roger will always be the face of ECAC-SIDA. You see, if there was a Mount Rushmore for this organization, his image would stand alone, for he was the face of ECAC-SIDA, now East-Comm, for so many years. And to Maddie Salvani, words cannot express my feelings for Maddie. More than 60 years and counting at West Point. Now that's what selfless service is all about. I am so fortunate to have worked by her side for more than 30 years. And there is no more noble person in the world of intercollegiate athletics than Maddie Salvani. By the way, both Roger and Maddie are previous winners of the Marsh and Kenworthy Awards. And that's no surprise, and certainly no mistake. After reading a list of names like that, you can see how truly blessed I am to have been surrounded by some of the truly best this industry has to offer. Not only are they wonderfully talented professionals, but they are even greater human beings. And I am so lucky to be able to call them friends and colleagues. I may be the one standing before you this evening to accept the Bob Kenworthy Award, but quite honestly, they are the ones truly deserving of recognition. And I thank you all. To so many of the organization's members I had the honor of serving alongside on the East-Comm board, I have benefited so greatly from your mentorship, from your guidance, and from your camaraderie over the years. And finally, I'd like to thank my family for being so understanding of the long days and even longer nights, of the countless missed family events and holidays, and for the many hours spent with other people's sons and daughters. None of us could survive in this industry without a terribly strong family network. And I have been blessed with just that. So thank you to my mother, Joanne, my sister, Brenda, my wife, Jen, and my beautiful daughter, Julia, who just graduated from Sacred Heart University, and of whom I am so proud. And to my father, who passed away about 1 year after I was named the Sports Information Director at the United States Military Academy back in 1996. My father reminded me an awful lot of Bob Kenworthy. Though they never met, the two shared much in common. It was my father who instilled some of life's bedrock values, the importance of dignity, character, and class, the meaning of a hard day's work. Similar themes shared by Bob Kenworthy himself. Thanks to all of my family members for allowing me the opportunity to spend a lifetime in a profession that has never once seemed like a day of hard work, for allowing me to live out a dream for more than 30 years. I love you all a great deal and can never thank you enough for the support you have given me over the years. It takes a special person. It takes a special person to dedicate their lives to promoting others. It takes a special person to honorably and nobly serve an institution with the singular goal of advancing its coaches, staff members, and student athletes in the public light, never with a regard for their own personal standing. I am incredibly humbled and tremendously honored to receive the Bob Kenworthy Award. But I am even more humbled and even more honored to be standing alongside each of you. Thank you all very much. I will cherish this award forever. Be well, and may God bless you all. Thank you, and good night.
Congratulations to Bob, and thank you to both Bob and Roger for your many significant contributions to our organization. At this point, we move to our marquee award of the evening, the Irving T. Marsh Award. The Marsh Award is presented to one or two individuals annually that have exhibited excellence in the field of sports information. To introduce our first winner, please welcome the 2016 Marsh Award winner and the 2018 Kenworthy Award winner, Jeff Bernstein from NYU.
Alex, let's go to Great Sports Information Directors for 1,000, please.
He's been in the profession for 25 years, the last 18 at Brandeis University.
Beep. Who is Adam Levin?
Correct. Choose again, Jeff.
Thanks, Alex. I'll take Great Sports Information Directors again for $2,000.
This longtime sports information director is being honored with the East-Comm's Irving T. Marsh Award.
Beep.
Jeff?
Again, I gotta go with Adam Levin.
Right again. You really know this category, don't you, Jeff?
Well, yes, I do, Alex, but mostly I know Adam Levin, having worked with him for more than 2 decades. Talk about selfless, dedicated, hardworking individuals in this profession. And you could fill a whole Jeopardy board with the excellence of Adam Levin. Those who know him know how much he loves the profession, his university, and his student athletes. This award tonight is truly well deserved and probably well overdue. Adam is a true gentleman, a terrific communicator, a great husband, and a great father. And after seeing his appearance on Jeopardy, he may just be the smartest sports information director in the profession. But what makes Adam someone to really look up to is his humility. I mean, this guy almost took down one of the greatest champions in Jeopardy history. He scored the most points. He had the highest money total of any person who did not win at Jeopardy. He came this close to having a change of life, earning tons of money, and a truly life-altering experience. But instead of sulking or lamenting or going off the edge like most people would, I certainly would, he kept his composure. He has never shown any regret, no feeling sorry for himself, no what might have beens. This is a true man of character, a man who richly deserves to be honored tonight. Of course, he also deserves another chance to go on Jeopardy, but that's another discussion for another day. But for this time, for tonight, I just want to congratulate my friend Adam for this honor. You are a real credit to the profession, Adam, a model citizen for everyone to look up to and admire. Congratulations on receiving the Irving T. Marsh Award. Welcome to a very exclusive club that now has an even greater profile with you being a member.
Thanks, Jeff. If I had gotten dinosaurs as a Jeopardy category, Jeff might have been a $1,000 clue, but at least I would have gotten it right. And thank you to everyone out there in Zoom land who's tuning in tonight. It's been a long year and we all have virtual meeting fatigue. But there's a silver lining. You don't have to wait for me to finish to enjoy your favorite beverages. In fact, I encourage you to play a game and take a sip every time I mention game shows or trivia. Go ahead and take one now for my joke about Jeff. Still, the last thing you want to be doing on a Wednesday night is listening to cranks like Brad Netto and me rambling on all night. I know it's not my game show, but if I had been on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire instead, you can bet I'd have called Brad if the category was hair metal bands, the Brady Bunch, or pirates. Brad and I have been colleagues for a long time in this profession, and I'm extremely proud to receive the Marsh Award in the same year as him. Congratulations to Ann and Bob on their honors. I've known them both for a long time, just not well enough to make poorly thought out jokes at their expense. They've both been presented with just about every award in this organization, and deservedly so. After the speech, I don't know that I'm going to be asked to be giving a whole lot more. And my deepest respect to Mike and Sarah for the work that they do as a veteran reporter and enthusiastic newcomer in this profession. We need more people who work as hard as you do in your roles, so thank you and congratulations. I'll try not to bore everybody with too many stories about me, at least not in the context of thanking other people. Thank you first off to my predecessor at Brandeis, Jack Malloy, who told me that I could get paid to keep score at baseball games, as long as I was willing to pitch in with basketball and maybe pick up some soccer and fencing along the way as well, and spend a couple hours in the office. But it was still a work-study job that certainly beat the heck out of being a VHS jockey in the library. Jack taught me everything I know about this profession, and I hope I've lived up to, if not occasionally exceeded, the standards that he set when I was a student. If it wasn't for Patty Lawson, who took a chance on hiring me when she was the Director of College Relations at Bates College way back when, I wouldn't be here today. It certainly helped that Patty was a former sports information professional like myself, and one that, also like me, grew up outside of Philadelphia and moved to New England for college. We talked about the Phillies and the Eagles in my interview, and I convinced her that I could keep stats for football and lacrosse games, and the rest is history. I enjoyed my time at Bates working with tremendous public relations professionals, coaches, and student athletes, but I always hoped that I would have a chance to return to my alma mater at some point. When the opportunity arose in 2002 to return to Waltham, I jumped at it. So thank you to Jeff Cohen, who remembered me and brought me back to the Judge's family, and to all the ADs after him who've allowed me to do my job to the best of my ability over the years. Cheryl Sousa, Lynn Dempsey, Jim Zotz, Jeff Ward, and Lauren Haney. They may have stayed away from my office because it's such a mess, but they never closed their doors to me either. Here's a bit of trivia for you. Since the Marshall Award was first presented in 1966, only 8 schools have been honored with multiple winners, and Brandeis is only the second Division III school on that list. Brandeis has been a special place for me. I knew it would be when I first walked the grounds as a high school senior. It was where I made most of my best friends in the world, thanks to sketch comedy, quiz bowl, and the athletic department. It's a place that embraces its nerds and oddballs, kind of like our profession, really. You can be into sports and theater and your studies at the same time, and people on campus support you in all of those endeavors. I've come to ECAC-SIDA, East-Comm workshops over the years, and heard horror stories about how some of my fellow SIDs are treated by their bosses and co-workers, and always given thanks that that hasn't been my experience. From the athletic staff to the student athletes to the rest of the administration, I've pretty much always felt respected by the people at Brandeis and have tried to return that respect. So there's more to my longevity here than just the fact that I don't have football or ice hockey or lacrosse to fill out my weekends. Thank you to all the coaches, staff, and student athletes that I've worked with over the years that make it so often not seem like work. Brandeis has been such a supportive place over the years, but so has the SID community. So thank you to all of you out there. I've been lucky to have been part of conferences in the NESCAC and the UAA that have valued our position at schools that share many of the same values that I hold. So while I've been sticking out in Waltham, I have so many colleagues that I also consider friends. It's not easy to make a long career as an SID. Knowing that I can call people like Brad Netto or Paul Sweeney and Jim Caton and Dave Kingsley, Jeff Bernstein, Dennis O'Donnell, Mark Fisher and Andrea Wesp and so many others outside their conferences, from other outside conferences like Ken Charrington and Scott Dietz and Josh Kessler. People I can bounce ideas off or bust chops with or just talk about who the best Jeopardy guest hosts are is priceless. So thank you to everyone in the SID profession for being another community that embraces the sports nerds the way that Brandeis embraces all the other nerds. And that leaves one last set of thank yous, always the most important set, and that's my family. My parents, Howard and Marcia, have always supported my decisions. They never pushed me too hard and have always been proud of my accomplishments, as I've always strived to make them proud. I got to see them in person last week for the first time in more than 2 years, and hugging them after that long was one of the best feelings. Finally, my wife Joy and my son Drew. After my Jeopardy appearance, last one, I promise, I said it was the best day of my life that didn't include adding a new member to my family, because tied at the top of my list of the best days are the day I got married and the day my son was born. I don't say enough, but I love my wife and I wouldn't be where I am today without her. Is every day perfect? No. Does she sometimes root against the judges if winning means I might have to travel? Yeah, but it's only because against the odds, even after all this time, she still likes having me around, and I like being around her too. Over the past 13 years, Joy has pushed me to be a better person every single day. I might not always make it there, but I always keep trying. And in the 10 years since Joe has been around, life has been a whole new adventure. Trying to find ways to keep his body and mind occupied are a challenge that I love. He makes me proud in new ways every day, and I hope that I am doing the same for him. So thank you again to my biggest loves, Joy and Drew, for all of your support. That's my speech. Thank you all for sticking around, and I look forward to seeing you all in person next spring in Maryland.
Congratulations to Adam, and thank you to Jeff for that entertaining introduction. Now to introduce our second Marsh honoree of the evening, please welcome 2017 Marsh Award winner and 2013-14 ECAC-SIDA president, Kevin Beatty from RPI.
Hello everyone, I am Kevin Beatty, Associate Athletic Director at RPI. It is a tremendous honor to introduce Brad Netto as an Irving Marsh Award honoree. Congratulations to him and all the other award recipients, each of whom are so deserving. For people in athletic communications, success is a double-edged sword. Of course, we want our teams and individuals to compete deep into the postseason and have chances to bring home the hardware with capturing a league title, regional tournament, or national championship. However, that means added games to cover, more awards to publicize, and additional media requests with which to assist. Then seasons blend together for longer periods of time and summers start later. But we would all do it every season, every year. As many of you know, Middlebury College athletics consistently epitomizes that scenario. And Brad has been there every step of the way for more than 25 years as the Panthers boast some of the most successful programs in college athletics at any level. We could prove the point by listing all of those titles, but that would take way too long. What we can talk about, and this is undeniable, is how those extended seasons really enticed Brad to look forward to and thoroughly enjoy this organization's annual workshop. It wasn't because he wanted to boast about how the men's tennis team won this or the women's lacrosse team captured that. He wanted and needed the opportunity to spend time with old friends, make new friends, and enjoy all the experiences of what those 4 or 5 days every June presented. I mean, think about it. By the end of the spring semester, we are all in need of time to reconnect, learn, and commiserate, and most of us aren't on a ride deep into the postseason. For others, like Brad, who for a long time was grossly understaffed despite the mind-bending success at Middlebury, the workshop was the culmination of 9.5 or 10 months of a grind that included additional nights and additional weekends, with that being the norm. The workshop became his postseason, and he wasn't going to miss it. He finally remembers that his first was in Saratoga Springs in the mid-1990s, and then he has not missed one since. That includes trips to places like Rochester, Lowell, the Cape, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Troy. He began going as an attendee and then got involved by serving on panels and as a moderator. His passion for the organization continued to grow, and he joined the board, spending many years in various capacities, including as president. He also helped bring a workshop to Burlington, Vermont in 2018. Brad's passion for this organization remains. He cares deeply about what it's doing, where it is going, and what it can accomplish. Most importantly, he cares about its members and how they can benefit from being involved, just like he has. How can they really connect and grow from being colleagues to becoming friends to being confidants? Someone who will be there when issues arise, or there's a story to tell, or news to share, personally or professionally. Brad has built those relationships, and the beneficiaries are many, myself included. When that 802-443 number comes up on the office phone display, the day has just gotten better. It might mean you will have a car in your driveway for a week because he is flying out of Albany for ECAC-SIDA and you live close to the airport, or that there is a 90210 reunion, or that Chris O'Donnell is performing live nearby. But answering that call will certainly be a highlight. Brad is a skilled communicator who continues to strive to get better, leaning on friends and colleagues, using those phone calls to improve himself and on what he can do to improve what he does for the student athletes and staff of Middlebury Athletics. Smartly, he relies heavily on Lyle and Allie, fellow members of the Mid-Athletics communication staff, who keep him on his toes. Like most of us, Brad is a huge sports fan and something of a memorabilia collector. He can also fly small airplanes, is a talented woodworking craftsman, and a budding outdoorsman. He's also a proud husband. His wife Sarah deserves tremendous praise for not only dealing with an SID's schedule, but more importantly, as being a teacher. Together, they are dedicated parents of Ryan, who not surprisingly picked up a few of his dad's attributes and is now in school to become a commercial pilot. The past 25 plus years at Middlebury College have been a family affair for the Nettos, and I am proud to present them this Marsh Award. Accepting on their behalf is my friend Brad.
Thank you very much, Kevin. I appreciate the kind words, although since this is pre-recorded, I guess I am assuming they were kind words. Certainly it was a thrill for me a couple years ago to present you as the Irving T. Marsh Award winner, and very happy to have you doing the same for me here. Believe it or not, I'm going to keep this relatively brief. I want to thank the board for all their work during these troubling times, and also would really like to congratulate all of the other winners this year. It's an amazing group. I wish we could all be gathering in person, but unfortunately that's not the case. I hope everyone is doing well out there, all things considered. It's been a very challenging year for many, and especially us in this profession as well. You know, like many of you, very disappointed there's been no workshop for the past couple of years, and that 4-day period is one of my favorite times of the year, every year, and it's unfortunate we're able to gather this year. You know, I was thinking about this, and you know, many of you guys out there have fellow SIDs in your town or nearby cities that you work with and see. You know, the number of SIDs in Vermont is in the single digits, and none of them are within 45 minutes of Middlebury. So certainly the workshop has been one of these places where I'm able to see a lot of my colleagues and to grow professionally, while also getting to know some very amazing people. There's some of you that I talk to throughout the year on the phone and through working games and such, and there's other people that I only see here at the ECAC-SIDA workshop. And I can honestly say I cherish those 5 minutes that I might spend with you guys at the workshop almost as much as I do a lot of the friendships I have throughout the year. You know, I love this organization. I'm passionate about it. You know, and a friend of mine asked me a few years ago, why do you care so much? You know, and honestly, I didn't really know where to start. You know, I remember a few years back when I brought someone to their first workshop, who is now my assistant, Allie, and we had a chance to listen to the legendary Steve McCluskey speak. And Steve was speaking about his love for the profession and family and just amazing topics in a very passionate way that all of you know Steve can speak like. And when we finished, you know, I looked at her, we both had tears in our eyes from what Steve had just said, and I said, that's why I'm in this profession, because of guys like him and because of the bond that the SIDs have for each other. You know, at the end of the day, we all care about each other more than we even know. You know, it goes beyond helping someone out at a game at a nearby town. You know, it's the personal friendships that we've developed over the years in this profession. You know, as my friend Kevin Beatty said during his speech a couple of years ago, you know, I have no reason to call someone like BJ at DeSales or John King at Alvernia. We rarely, if ever, compete against these guys, yet I do call those guys, and he does as well. You know, one thing for me, I love picking up the phone and giving someone a call, checking in how they're doing professionally and personally. Some of my longtime buddies in the profession who I met when I first broke in, like Bill Jones and Ken Sherrington, Lauren Ferret as well, you know, just to see how things are going and checking in with them. And I really do enjoy giving those guys calls and checking in and just keeping in touch. You know, speaking of things that are special to me, I want to thank, you know, my family. You know, my wife Sarah and I moved to Middlebury in the fall of 1994, making $25,000 between us. You know, and as many of our spouses have, you know, she has really been there for me throughout all of these nights, the weekends, the ones that she spent alone over the past 27 years with no complaints or no questions. You know, she knew what the job was when she married me, and she's been there with me every step of the way. So thank you to her. I also want to thank my son Ryan, who's currently earning his 4-year degree to become a professional pilot, which actually I had nothing to do with. As some of you know, I have my pilot's license, and Ryan kind of decided he wanted to do this all on his own. You know, growing up, I missed some of his games, certainly. I was bound and determined to make it to all of his varsity hockey games, and I really don't know how I pulled that off, but I was able to do that. So I really am very proud of him and appreciate his understanding and patience with me with missing a lot of those games. Also want to thank my assistants, you know, Allie Paquette, Lyle Fulton, and a former assistant, Dane McKee, for their dedication to Middlebury and also helping provide me some of those opportunities to see Ryan's games. I also want to mention a couple of my former interns from 20 plus years ago, Naira Moran and Jim Caton, who've been friends of mine for a long time and have done really well in this profession. And I'm certainly proud of them for the work that they've done. So I'm going to end with something again from Steve McCluskey. You know, he said during a speech when he was collecting one of his many awards over the years in this profession, he said, "We've dedicated our lives to promoting the accomplishments of others. What more selfless act could there be?" And I think that really sums up our profession in a nutshell. So thank you very much for this award. I appreciate it, and enjoy the rest of the program.
Congratulations to Brad, and thank you to Kevin for that introduction. Our final award of the evening is the Pete Nevins Award for Distinguished Achievement. It is presented to an individual in recognition of his or her advancement of the field of athletic communications and advocacy for intercollegiate athletics. The winner must have served at least 25 years in the sports information field and either be a current or former member of East-Comm. To introduce the 2020 award winner, please welcome 2005 Marsh Award winner Eric McDowell.
Good evening, East-Comm, and thank you for the opportunity. This is Eric McDowell, one of the biggest fans of this organization for many years. Of course, I'm from Cape Cod, and the best part about growing up on Cape Cod is when you have your own beach, and the beach doesn't change. You always have the same view, the water, the sun, the shore. You can't build anything on the ocean, and it's a special place. And it was there that I discovered a special profession with amazing people. And I poured my life into it, and there are so many people that have touched it. And the one tonight, among many of the people over the years that I've been so fortunate to come across, is Ann King, receiving the award named after the immortal Pete Nevins. It is so fitting for her because she's an immortal as well. We go way back, way back. She still looks just as good as 1986. That smile, lighting up the room, dedication. 86 was special in Boston because we met many wonderful friends as we were embarking on this profession after about 5 years. I realized that this is what I wanted to do, and it was people like Ann King made it that way. That's why I wanted to do it. And I saw somebody who was excited, who at a time when not a lot of females were provided the opportunities that they so richly deserve, she stood out. And we noticed that right from the beginning. And I followed her career at Drew. And then when I was at the Division III level, I was able to play the College of New Jersey, which meant usually it would be in a playoff. And usually that would mean that my team would lose. But I didn't lose. I don't really care as much on the field as much about what I do. No, that's not the case. Of course we care. But what I really cared about was the person that was putting on the show. And that's what Ann King does. Everything is from her heart. And even though I don't think I ever defeated the College of New Jersey in any type of sport, I always won because she was there. You would be treated like a king or queen, no matter what event it was. She had her snacks. She had everything needed. She had the statistics up to date. She had the standings. She had standings of probably the Big East and the Big West. She had it all. And it was amazing to see somebody that passionate, that was so excited, that was always caring all the time about her teams, her coaches, her student athletes, etc. I really saw her grow, and I saw that smile, and I said, this is somebody going places, and she sure did. You know the numbers, you know the statistics about coaches and athletes, well, you know the awards, and the Pete Nevins Award is a fabulous honor for her, truly well-deserved. And what goes around comes around. Because when I was in the Capital District, as I am now in the state of New York, Sage Colleges, Russell Sage at the time, and now Russell Sage again, but also known as Sage Colleges, an athletic director contacted me and said, we have an application from someone named Ann King, and she knows you. And I said, oh, I know Ann King. Yes, I do. Go after her. I basically went off about the passion, the detail, how much she has done for the profession. And I said to that athletic director at the time, I said flat out, listen to me, you have the chance to hire Mother Teresa. If you were at a church and you can bring in Mother Teresa, you do it. It would be the first full-time SID at that institution. Who better? It would be like hiring a Hall of Fame coach for an expansion team in the pros. Think about that and how quickly things would turn around or grow. And that's exactly what happened. And as it turned out, there was also an opportunity at the Liberty League for her husband, Tracy, who I knew from many years earlier as well. Perfect package deal for both of them, so they could both continue to serve college student athletes. As it turns out, when I went into my own business, Anne had approached me immediately and said, I could really use your help because, folks, she had been a solo shop, and as I speak today, is currently still a solo shop. The good thing is that I know her athletic director as a former coach where I had worked. But I didn't hesitate, and whatever she needed me to do, I would be there. The fun part was adapting, because now we were working together after all these years, and we are alike. I think that's, if I can have a self-compliment, it's that I am like her. I want to be like her. The detail, the passion, all of that. And so there's a word to describe it. It's called didya. Didya. D-I-D-C-H-A. Didya. As in what I would ask assistants and student assistants and others. Did you update the stats? Did you bring the updated roster? Did you get the starters? When I first went to one of the events at Sage to help Ann doing statistics, I would say, did you? And she interrupted and said, yep, I did it. I've got the standings. I've got the stats. I've got the rosters. I've got the pronunciations. I've got everything in Stat Crew. I've got everything ready, right for you. I got some lunch for you. I got you a sub. I hope you like tuna. Do you like mayo? Boom, boom, boom. What did I expect? Nothing less, because it's Ann King. That's why. And that's why to this day, I'm right by her side. I'm so happy that Tracy came into her life. Happy for both of them. And I've been blessed now that she's right around the corner. And when she needs me, not just for stats, but for support, to vent, to laugh, she's right there, and I'm right there for her. So tonight, Pete Nevins is looking down saying, you betcha. This award, after me, Pete Nevins, is going to Ann. Who better? Did you? Yes, Ann. Did you? You always do. You always will. You are appreciated. You are a role model to veterans, to newcomers. Your impact on the lives of student athletes, your colleagues, your coaches, yes, your athletic directors and others, media, it's all there. We've all been blessed that you chose this profession, young lady. I'm blessed that what goes around comes around and that we're in the same area and that I can help you in any way, just to know that when I get there, I don't have to ask, did you anymore? I just see you and know that the students at Russell Sage College are getting the benefits that the other institutions received. They're getting the benefits at their institution, the coaches, the AD. They're getting the passion, the care that we have come to expect from you. So tonight, there's a lot of tears of happiness being shed for you. There's a lot of hugs. There's a lot coming your way. And a lot of the people tonight would love to do that. But I'm not far away, and I will be there for you very soon to give you that long hug and to give Tracy the high five and to see Robert smile. So congratulations on this honor, Ann. We look forward now to your remarks. Thank you for this opportunity. Thanks for everything you've done. Thanks for being you, because Ann King is a high bar only you can set. Enjoy your evening. And thank you, everyone, for your support of East-Comm.
This is such an overwhelming experience, and I have to admit I'm at a loss for words. And for those of you who know me, that's a pretty hard feat to achieve. First, I want to say a special thank you to whomever nominated me for this award, as well to the selection committee and the ECAC-SIDA and East-Comm board for this honor. I also wish to congratulate all of my fellow 2020 and 2021 honorees. It is my honor to share this week with you all. Having known Pete Nevins personally, it is just a tremendous honor to be the recipient of an award with his name attached to it. Pete always said that this gathering at ECAC-SIDA was like Christmas and Hanukkah all rolled into one night. I have to admit, he was right. There are so many emotions I am flooded with that I can't even begin to explain. One might just say, when you've been in the profession 30 plus years, being the recipient of this award just means you're old. Sadly, they're correct. Reflecting on my career, there are so many people that have played a role in my surviving and staying passionate about athletic communications. Along the way, there have been so many professional highs and sadly some lows too. We can all take solace in knowing that all of these experiences have helped us grow. I heard it once said that you are in good company when you've been let go from a job. Sadly, 2020 and 2021 and COVID have taken its toll on way too many talented and passionate professionals in our business, and that's just a travesty. My list of people I need to say thank you to is way too long, and I know I will leave someone off, and I apologize in advance. Know that you have made a difference in my life, and I am so lucky for the gift of your friendship. I do need to thank two people. Combined with my tenure, we have nearly 100 years of SID experience. You've always been there, laughing, supporting, and providing advice and a shoulder to lean on when I needed it. Sheila Stevenson and Eric McDowell, you will always have a special place in my heart, and I love you both more than you will ever know. Speaking of family, there are so many folks in my ECAC-SIDA and COSIDA family that I need to say thank you to as well. Thank you for always being willing to teach, assist, and help this rookie keep on learning. Of course, there's my FAME and WOSIDA family. You continue to help women in our profession succeed and understand that you can have a career and a family. And of course, there's my actual family. And some of you, I know, still don't understand what it is I do for a living. You've always led the way, though, with your hard work and have led by example. Your tremendous work ethic and passion for your careers have inspired me to want to do more. Thank you for supporting me in the good times and the bad times and showing me how to get up, dust myself off, and get back to it. Over the years, I've had some tremendous students and staff that I've been blessed to work with. If I in some way stirred an ember in you to pursue a career in athletic communications, I am so touched. You inspire me with your successes and your triumphs. Thank you to Karen Olson, Mike Falk, Mark Simon, Naira Moran, Lyle Fulton, Henry Golden, Baron Shark, and the countless others that have helped me make a difference. My life changed in 1993 at the ECAC-SIDA workshop in Hartford when I met Tracy King at this very same awards dinner. Since then, you have been the inspiration for me to be a better person. Together with our son Robert, you have filled my life with love and support and lots of happiness and laughs. And of course, having Robert, my own personal IT consultant, has been one of the greatest gifts I could ever imagine. But seriously, it takes a special person to love an SID, especially with all the chaos and stress of our profession, and you two have always been there to help me through the long days, the stress of the job, and have never wavered in your support of me, and I am forever grateful. So enough of me rambling on, but a bit of advice as we look to recovering from this last year and a half of like no other in college athletics. Remember to take the time to smell the roses and have a life outside of the office. Get a hobby, plant a garden, get a dog, or in my case, get a horse. Do something for you. You also need to be an advocate for you. No one else can do this, so you have to take the time to look after you. Take the time to go to a doctor, visit with family and friends, and just be present. Life is way more than a balanced box score and a seriously cool graphic. Take the time to build relationships with people and be a mentor and an advocate for someone else that needs that small push to get started. Thank you again, and thank you to Pete Nevins. He always said, make time for your family. So, in true Pete fashion, it's time to go because it's time for dinner and movie, and it's time for date night. Thank you.
Congratulations to Ann, and thank you to Eric for that introduction. That concludes our 2020 East-Comm Awards presentation. We hope you'll join us at 8:30 p.m. this evening for a virtual reception to honor the award winners. Visit eastcomm.com for more information. We also hope that you'll join us for our virtual workshop June 22nd and June 23rd, where we will be providing a great deal of professional development, social activities, and also recognizing our 2021 award winners. Thanks again for tuning in this evening, and one final congratulations to our 2020 East-Comm Award winners.